Good evening, Earthbound gamers. We are here. We have Czikubi versus Attack Slug, the Earthbound Super Series Round 4. I believe this is the end to Round 4. This is the last race before we enter brackets. And I am joined here by Ness Rocker. Ness, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Let me know how audio sounds, how audio levels are, because I can't hear the stream, obviously. So if anyone needs to be turned up, if game audio needs to be turned up, just let me know. But we will be getting started here. Hopefully they're paying attention. We've started the race now, though. So about 10 seconds, we'll be off.
All right, and I'm excited about this one. So excited! I've already begun the poll in the Twitch chat. So go ahead and get your votes in. Who's going to win this matchup? What do you think, Daniel?
So all the data points to Czikubi, certainly. It is definitely a situation here where Attack Slug might feel very intimidated by her opponent. Czikubi here is racing. They're 3-0 so far. Attack Slug is 2-1. Czikubi's racing to determine who, if they will become the number 1 seed or not. And in order to become the number 1 seed, they do have to get quite a ridiculous time to beat out Classic James. But they still have to beat Attack Slug first on the way. And you know, they're just trying to solidify basically who ends up being 4-0 and who ends up being 3-1. Oh no.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because I believe both of these racers are already into the final brackets proper. Am I correct in that?
That is correct. They will all be coming to the final brackets, both of them. And it just determines basically how well they'll be seated in that bracket. You know, the lower you're seated, the higher chance you have of playing someone very, very strong round 1. Although realistically, a lot of people in the brackets that did make it, they're all really strong. So it's hard to feel comfortable even when you do have the higher seed.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a really interesting matchup because Attack Slug has had a couple of upsets before, and I'm just really interested. I hope she doesn't get too much in her own head about facing, I mean, just a classic Boogey% racer like Czikubi.
Yeah, she could be a very, very solid runner, has very close to world record times in a lot of categories, you know, just slightly behind Octopascal. So you know, they're someone who plays this game a lot and has really solidified themselves as a formidable opponent here in this tournament.
For sure. I don't think we're going to be seeing any crazy kind of stuff. This is just going to be, you know, both of these racers know what they're doing. It's not their first rodeo. I think we're just going to see. Sorry,
The rodeo?
Yeah, like the drive.
I see.
I think we're just going to see some clean, classic Boogey% plays here, honestly, and then it's going to be up to RNG from there, I believe.
Yeah, definitely RNG going to be playing a huge factor here. absolutely. This game is, the more you run it, you know, we all run this game because we love it in a lot of ways. It's my favorite game still. But when you run it for long enough, you also understand that this game is a huge jerk. It's such a big jerk.
Yeah, and sometimes it knows you want to win, and it's just up to it whether it feels generous or not.
All right, we got Czikubi here out on the hill. I'm gonna see what type of spawns they get. Snake here is fine. Stutter right past it. Slug also getting a snake. This dog is a problem. Czikubi's trying to see if the dog will go left and despawn itself, which is exactly what it did. Attack Slug here getting a crow. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm getting a message in the chat saying that your audio is a little low compared to mine.
That is fixable. I can fix that. Slug getting chased back by a crow.
Oof.
But Czikubi's hill looking super, super clean.
Yeah, I thought that dog was going to be a problem, like you mentioned before, but cleaned it up rather nicely.
A crow there for Slug is she doesn't want to risk it, which is fine. It's possible the crow can swing sometimes unpredictably, but now she's gotten herself a situation that she can get through this. There's one more spawn plate up here. There was a dog there briefly. Slug not wanting to stutter the snake. All right, she gets to, oh no, last minute snake.
I didn't even see that snake.
It can sometimes spawn on the hill itself, like right next to Picky, but normally this walk right by here will despawn it naturally. All right, even though Czikubi here has kind of a nice lead, just based on the hill differences, Starman can be, you can lose a little bit of time there, and there's the rest of a net to deal with. Did Czikubi pick up the bread roll? No, they didn't.
No.
Interesting. Very possible they know that they need to get a very good time in order to get this win and also get a very good time in order to be the #1 seed. So maybe they're playing a little bit more wild in some regards in an effort to save time.
And not taking that bread roll is probably the wildest thing you can do.
It's pretty important, at least for safety, in my opinion. You can get by a lot without it as long as Frank is good enough, because really it's just dependent upon how much Frank hits you, how much healing you need to do, because you have to heal every single turn Frank hits you.
Makes sense. And another one of those RNG factors for Frank, for example, that would be like the types of attacks he uses, right? Because he could brandish his knives every turn.
Yeah, I mean, brandishing knives every turn, it ideally shouldn't matter, because any type of attack he does, you heal regardless. But if he brandishes knives every turn, then the odds of him killing you are definitely higher, because he might get a very high roll, and you don't have much HP at that time.
Let's quickly touch on something that I think is important and doesn't get discussed a lot. Window flavor. Now, Czikubi's rocking a plain. Taxla going with the peanut butter. What is your thoughts?
I have a YouTube video on this, specifically about peanut. I have very strong opinions about menu flavors. Personally, I'm the biggest fan of banana. I've been a banana runner since I started.
I didn't realize you were a banana boy.
Yeah, I'm a banana.
I'm a mint man myself.
I'm from the banana gang, so I like banana the best. I've been running since 2015. I have chosen banana and nothing but banana. When I was a kid, though, I did choose mint. I did like mint a lot as a kid, so I respect mint runners a lot. I also think plain is decent. I don't like strawberry because I can't see it. I'm colorblind for clarity.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, so it's strawberry is like pink and it just doesn't show up well for me. So I'm in a turf war with strawberry runners.
Makes sense.
And
Makes sense.
then peanut, I've never liked. Although Slug doesn't like me talking about this, but I've never liked peanut. I do think peanut needs to exist though, and I sort of touch on this in my YouTube video. But it's like peanut is the martyr flavor that needs to exist to make the rest of the flavors shine that much brighter.
Yeah, and I mostly agree with your assessment. I'm going to dock some points for the low-key microaggression when you said, "Yeah, I liked mint when I was a child."
No, it's just like when I was a kid. That's when I was caring about playing the game casually, aesthetically. I liked so it's actually part of the reason I like banana so much is the battle backgrounds in it. I think are really well done. I think they're really interesting. Well, whereas mint, like the window flavor part of it is great, but the battle part of it is less great to me. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. And we've gotten a little off topic. Czikubi taking a snake fight.
Yeah, they tried to stutter around it. And we also didn't mention Starman cycles in general, how long Starman took. Czikubi did have a 4-cycle Starman. And that has given Slug this chance to to catch up a lot. Like, she is right on Czikubi's tail all of a sudden. Dental flavor in PK Scramble. I actually do like dental flavor.
Oh no, Daniel.
I like the dental flavor.
Rocker is a noted hater of dental flavor, so I apologize for being at odds with you on this topic.
That's fine. Apparently, we're at odds about most things.
How could you say that? No,
because it's been the case, Ness. How is seeding determine average time or total time? So the thing that matters most, because this was a 4-round Swiss. This is the fourth week, which means it's the 4th round. 4-round Swiss. So first of all, you're standing in your Swiss ranking based on your number of wins and losses. That is the first and foremost thing that will determine your seeding. But the next factor that comes into that is then your average race time.
Got a question in from Flint Stoned in the chat. How does Czikubi press the D-pad so dang fast on the ATM OMG?
So there's a couple methods. So you can just do like concurrent presses like that, but I know runners like Temple, what they do is technically the game lets you buffer menu movements. Like if you were to hold up at the ATM, eventually it would start scrolling up. And you can buffer that movement a little bit before the text starts. And it can sort of get you some decent speed. But in general, I think most runners end up they just memorize a very rhythmic. They know they have to hit the D-pad 4 times there, so they do a quick 4-tap.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Czikubi does it for Earthbound, but I have seen their Mario Brothers streams, and they kind of have 2 fingers on the D-pad when they do it.
Turbo is allowed in this tourney. We use Turbo for text mashing primarily, but you can be used in battles sometimes as well. It's fine. Turbo is allowed in Earthbound, so.
Meanwhile, onto this Frank fight, and never mind, it's over.
Yep, and that's what Czikubi was kind of banking on with that red roll skip, and it's worked out. Saxolag now in her own Frank fight. Frank talking nasty the first turn. That's what she wants to see. Another crit. Wow, Czikubi with a fantastic.
That's insane. I want to say luck. I mean, crits are
luck.
Kind of RG, right?
Yeah, but it's still just like it feels great when it all happens. And Ness keeps on missing for Slug. He's dead next turn, but she doesn't want to risk it. It's fair enough.
Yeah, a miss would, well, basically end her run. At least chances of winning.
But she gets into Frankenstein now with just the 5 psychic points. Thankfully, she's at full health.
And I missed the Berg count. Does she have some Bergs?
She has no Bergs. She has those 5 psychic points, and that's all she's got. She really is hoping that Frankenstein just does these regular punches. Exactly. She can bash on this turn, playing it safer. She is close to winning. Through a punch, that's good. Oh, Ness, please.
Oh, not a miss.
One more turn, I think. I think it has to. Oh, okay, the crit to guarantee it.
The crit. GG. Yeah, no Bergs, no PP, just a prayer.
Yeah, but
and a crit.
They'll be okay here. So they get the Frank heal, and then she's probably gonna buy burgers before Giant Step. So getting through Frankenstein is always the scary part. Czikubi had that amazing luck though, so he's picking up the lead, and he might. No, okay, he is gonna buy burgers.
No, he's skipping. Oh,
No,
he's
no.
going to get money.
Thank you. I do not remember if they got the Frank heal. I think they were at a psychic point amount where getting the Frank heal was optional. I could definitely see them skipping it, but they definitely got it. 60-20. There's no way you would have 20 at the end there without a Frank heal. And instant slugs for Czikubi.
And that's really what you want to see, are those quick 4-packs right off the bat.
I'm not sure what you mean, Shuki. Oh, that's just the stream.
Yeah, it's pretty nice to get 4 slugs when you haven't even hooked the rat in position, you know?
Yeah, they're trying to get. I think you do want at least a mouse stuck over here, but looks like Czikubi is just planning on just trying to visually see the slugs, or maybe they can still feel alive with just the 4 slugs.
I can never remember the math. How many slugs do you want to fight?
You want to fight 22 slugs total, so this is 8 for Czikubi. Yeah, that's likely the bitrate just fluctuating and then catching up with itself. Slug now finding her first 4-pack.
And Slug's not really too much far behind, all things considered.
No, she's not. You know, an Ant Death could equalize this very easily. Czikubi making me think that almost got a red swirl, but they did turn around last frame, but Ness's sprite did not reflect that. That's the only reason that was a blue swirl.
I see. I was about to ask, how is that not a red swirl?
They turned around like last possible frame, but the game did not quite register it for the actual sprite itself. Attack Slug, unfortunately, this first 4-pack is beating her up. She has low defense, and Ness is hitting for less than 30, which means his offense is low, which tends to be the case here for this first pack quite often. And Czikubi finding their fourth pack.
That's almost 16.
It is 16, actually. Boing, it is possible to get a green swirl on slugs. You basically need to do what Czikubi just did, but using iframes from getting out of a different fight. So you have the iframes of getting out of a previous fight, and then last second you walk behind the slugs and you green swirl them. And it has to be like last possible frame. It might not be exactly that precise, but it's the same. It's fairly precise.
Ooh, risky stutter here, in my opinion.
Yeah, it can definitely be bad if there's a lot of antoids up top. It can create a lot of lag, making the stutter harder and in some cases impossible. But you could be looking for a 6-pack up here. Only 6-packs only spawn on the third floor of Giant Step. And you could be recognizing it's not enough of those little sprites to be anything but a slug and antoid fight. You could be getting some bad luck here. Yeah, definitely getting that workout. Here we go. This is definitely a 6-pack. So this would be the last slug fight for Czikubi, and then they'll be heading to Titanic Ant.
I'm just excited for the next Earthbound patch. I hear Fast Ropes is coming to vanilla.
Fast what?
Fast Ropes, like they have in Scramble.
Yeah. All right, Slug finally finding their fourth pack. Getting some bad RNG with the slugs. Her people are not appearing for her. Oh, Czikubi put to sleep. All right, but woken up pretty quickly.
We might see something similar on Attack Slug's side. Some of those are able to concentrate now.
Alright, she got a crit. There you go, this is Slug's fourth 4-pack. You could be going for a risky stutter, but pulling it off.
Ooh, pulling it off. That's kind of been the theme of Czikubi's game this round.
Yeah, only had one quote unquote failure. Got into a snake fight, which is pretty minimal, all things considered. Let's see how much this rockin' does. $78. That's decent enough. You won't be too mad with 78. Ant's being aggressive, but Czikubi's still in a comfortable spot. So 60. So Ant's taking about 140 damage. They have 235 HP. So that's like 165. Ant has done only the weak attack, which is annoying. I mean, you just have to go through a lot more burgers than you would like. And Czikubi playing a little riskier, but now all of a sudden, one more hit away though. They calculated it perfectly.
And that's a clean fight, pretty much.
Yeah, it's a bit more aggressive than you'd like it to be, but they still have enough burgers that I think they will be perfectly comfortable for the cop sequence coming up. Okay, Attack Slug, this is 20 out of 22. So she just needs to find another 4-pack or fight like 2 mice if she gets fed up enough. But does she find Okay, she finds a 4-pack. I thought she found exactly 2.
It did look a lot like 2.
Alright, so this will be level 8 for Attack Slug. Attack Slug has 24 offense, so they can one-shot Black Antoids. No need to stutter. Although she still needs to get to all the way to the top. She grinded on the slugs all the way on the bottom, so we still got to get through floors 2 and 3. Okay, getting these stutters. Ooh. Good stuff. That was great.
Nice rope-a-dope.
Yeah, it's very great stutter. Doing very. She smartly pulls them closer to get them to a spot where they're easier to stutter.
These mice are everywhere.
Yeah, and I think just there, she was just. It was so much stuttering in a row. But 2 hits in this mouse will be dead, so. As long as she can make it to the 3rd floor without having to fight a whole gang of slugs, because she does not need that time loss right now. And it's empty, perfect. So she's gonna be able to life up and then. Oh, the bread roll doesn't do it. It would have been nice if the bread roll maxed out her HP, but she's still gonna need to get two butterflies. Czikubi starting cops, instantly critting it, but their offense is not high enough to one-shot them. That's a 1 in 32, wow. Ooh, getting crit by a cop. And then outspeed on the life up.
And a miss.
And another outspeed.
And another crushing cop.
Oh, man. This cop
and
is
another
going rude.
He's going for Sergeant.
And the Attack Slug getting red swirled by an Antoid. Finally a turn where they heal and don't outspeed.
Two bergs left.
Okay, I got full HP coming into this 4th cop. Attack Slug starting her Titanic Ant. Defense down at the start is great. 65, you'll take it. Not as high as you'd like it to be.
Miss from the cop on Czikubi's side.
47. Alright, Czikubi going into strong. Attack Slug still in Titanic Ant. The Rockins were low, but Ant is not being particularly aggressive. I say that and he starts getting aggressive. Czikubi eating a burger. Getting hit here. Depending on how much this Rockin' does, Czikubi, I think, will feel confident about another Rockin'. Yeah, 91, you feel... As long as it hits, even if it hits for 40, you're fine. They both hit for exactly 91.
Wow.
Attack Slug, probably 1 to 2 turns away from... Oh, this turn for sure, with that crit. And Slug getting through Titanic Ant. Alright, no deaths so far. She might have a little less burgers than she would like to have. you could be watching out for mushrooms here, but nothing has spawned.
Yeah, pretty much clean and clear for Czikubi on that walk down to Tucson.
Yeah, and the entrance to Tucson can have mushrooms as well, but Czikubi, not the mushrooms are not out to play yet. There's one more spot where you might see some mushrooms, but Attack's not gonna be picking up this skip sandwich, huh? Interesting idea.
I've heard that a lot of Japanese runners are a pretty big fan of the skip sandwich strats.
That's generally always been the case. Skip sandwiches, in general, the reason why the non-Japanese runners were not a fan of skip sandwich strats is mostly because skip sandwiches, in order to get them, involves a lot of text that ends up negating whatever time save you do get from the skip sandwich. But in the case of the Japanese runners, especially in non-manip, and we've seen it a lot in the tournament so far, skip sandwiches can be very useful in places like Peace Forest Valley, and also later in the run that would normally happen after Boogey 10, 3 Cave, Grapefruit Falls, some areas like that. The extra speed can help you dodge enemies that you normally would be in a sort of checkmate situation.
Makes sense, yeah. Meanwhile, Slug is going on to fight the cops here, and I think that's the first one down.
Yes, that is the first cop. Oh no, that's the second cop. So attack Slug now on the third cop. Gonna heal here. And a miss there is fantastic. She's coming into this fourth cop with full HP. And getting a burger drop on top of it, just to make things extra comfy.
The game gives, and the game takes away.
Yeah, specifically in the Mother 2 run, tech speed is monstrously faster. There's no lag when opening the inventory in the US version. When you open your goods menu, depending on how many things are inside, it takes longer for the inventory to load. So the more things you have, the longer it takes to load. In Mother 2, you don't really have that problem. It just sort of instantly loads. So things like skip sandwiches end up being that much faster to purchase and use and stuff like that. Shut up, Bing. All right, just because I actually remember stuff and know stuff about this game that I run and have run for a long time does not mean I'm a nerd. Like you don't get suddenly cooler for having forgotten everything about this run after you got sub 4. Like it doesn't make you a cooler person.
I'm holding him back. Get out of here. You're safe for now. It blows my mind that you've forgotten everything about this run. Like legitimately everything.
not coming back.
Just give it time. It'll be coming
Not
back.
coming back. You've asked me so many basic questions. Alright, Czikubi entering PRV to actually get to Happy Happy Village. So this is scary spot. For experienced runners, it can, you know, there's certain situations that we know we can get by, but a pincer is still a pincer at the end of the day. And this first corner that's coming up is always one of the first big problems.
Peen train.
Oh my gosh.
How are you gonna put somebody's secrets out there on the internet like that?
Czikubi is getting a lot of annoying spawns. They thankfully are not in a terrible situation because nothing has spawned above them yet. Alright, finally getting through. That's the second butterfly they need.
And honestly, like you said, there hasn't been too much of a struggle for PRV on Czikubi's side.
Yeah, just some unfortunate time losses from despawns. But nothing spooky.
Meanwhile, I don't know if you saw, but on Attack Slug's side, I figured out where all the mushrooms went. And it was, it was to her game.
I see. Czikubi gonna be buying bat and hat for offense and defense. And also, I feel Attack Slug would like me to point out that she is in a cave she has deemed Fart Cave, because this cave stinks like farts.
I see.
And Czikubi with a lot of crows that would normally freak you out, but I feel Czikubi confidently knew what pathing they needed to do in order to make sure those crows were not an issue.
Absolutely. And it looks like Attack Slug's already back on our way to talk to Apple Kid.
Yeah, that sprout, not a problem. Just need to know the UFO it had also spawned with had despawned itself. So good on her to know she can walk right by it. Meanwhile, Czikubi here in shack fight. .94 is exactly enough damage to kill. And missing the crow twice. Yep. So Crow has 77 speed. Rockin's chance to miss is based on enemy speed. So the higher the enemy speed, the more likely Rockin has a chance to miss against the enemy, which is why it misses so often against the Crow.
Oh, that makes sense. And it also makes it much more frustrating when they're just sitting there grinning at you.
Yeah, and it also it's wild that that's how Rockin works, because it costs so many psychic points. Like the later the game goes on, it's like Rockin' Omega is like 98 psychic points for pretty mediocre damage that can miss on enemies with high speed. Compared to Starstorm Omega, which cannot miss and does like a billion skillion damage.
Yeah.
All right, second cultist fight here for Czikubi. Yeah, decent fight. Ideally, I think Czikubi wanted to get hit one more time in that fight, but being at 70 something is not a big deal. He'll be able to survive a hit from Carpainter. Alright, no reflect so far, but a life up is guaranteed this turn, so 61. One reflect, that's a decent amount. Alright, and this will be enough for sure. So really nice Carpainter for Czikubi.
Yeah, especially taking that paint attack and having that HP seems pretty advantageous, although I'm far from an expert.
Now 39 HP is pretty good. Obviously, you want lower. The lower the better, right? But anything
Right.
like in the to about 40 is fine. The mole can hit you for up to 60, but will average kind of into the 30s against Ness. It'll one-shot Paula no matter what, as long as she doesn't defend. The best possible scenario is to have your HP like 15 and below, because instead of using the ATM card, you can defend with Ness, and Ness will still die from the mole attack, even with the reduced damage from defend, and that is faster.
That's always surprising how much damage the mole does to you. Like up to 60. He is playing rough for sure.
Yeah, and he can crit you for more technically. For Ness, he can hit Ness. He can hit Ness for up to 61 without a crit. He most often on Ness though he will hit for in the 30 to 40 range, but he guaranteed can hit for up to 60.
Best is to have less than 5 HP and take the crow fight.
Crow fight still theoretically, if you can get a very very quick crow death warp, sure. I love crow death warp. It's hilarious to me. The annoying part is that crows have a lot of turns that aren't hitting you, and they also don't one shot Paula, and they do 2 damage to Ness. So we'll see how the death warp goes for Czikubi. Alright, we're just missing.
Absent-minded.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, he's not confusing himself, but he is wasting time. Alright, 60 to Paula. Missing here. Missing, I think, is fairly common as well. Hitting itself? No, just missing. And you could be bashing to get the mole out of it. It can be bad if you crit the mole, because you will kill the mole. And you can see Czikubi's worried about that. Again. Yeah, Czikubi's worried about that. That's why Czikubi's not bashing anymore. 58.
That's what you want to see.
Yes. So, I think that was 59 again right after. Yeah, Nest dying first is preferable, then you can auto fight. Tax Slug getting a call for help on her shack fight.
Oof, you definitely don't want to see that.
But she used the psychic points correctly. She healed herself, and this bash should end the fight right here. Well, especially with a crit. Unfortunately, she does not have a lot of psychic points, so I imagine she might steal a bunch of eggs here.
Perish the thought. You would never steal eggs, would you?
I don't steal eggs, but in this situation, I might.
What about a banana? Would you steal a banana?
Not in this situation. In this situation, I would use one. I would probably get like 3 eggs, and then use one egg.
I don't know. It's one banana, Daniel. What could it cost? $20?
Well, there's always money in the banana stand.
Not that one. Nobody ever paid.
No, nobody ever paid. Although, as we learned, it was literally money inside of the banana stand. It was lined with money.
True. You wouldn't download an egg. I would.
That's not what you want to see when you don't have psychic points from a rock.
Oh no.
A smash is great though. And now you gotta heal. Okay, she lucked out here that he didn't call for help.
Yeah, that could have been pretty bad.
Yeah, if a call for help happened, there's no way she would have survived. But she did survive. 39 HP. She can go into Carpenter with this. She wants to be full HP. I respect it. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, we'll see how Carpenter goes as we listen to the Runaway 5. Ooh, a Reflect. Alright, not 2. But this Rockin's going to add extra damage that the Life Up is not going to heal all of.
Paint attack's not really bad for full HP.
Yeah, I mean, so Carpenter is scripted. They do their attacks in the same order every time. So they're going to hit next turn. And then the next turn is going to be a lightning. A crit is just going to kill him, though.
Ooh. That's okay. That's about the same HP Czikubi ended with, right?
Yes, exactly. It's, a difference of maybe like 3 to 5. So basically exactly the same as Czikubi. And Czikubi's mole was still fairly rude in the sense that that mole just didn't want to hit anybody.
So definitely Tech Slug's time to make up.
Oh, Czikubi accidentally talking to this nerd.
Happens to me every time. And I believe his name is Mr. Poochie Food.
Yes.
Hold on, I'm getting someone messaging me. I can confirm he is a nerd. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Thank you for the confirmation. Attack Slug dropping some equipment here. For Nest to take more damage, and the teddy bear, so the mole does not waste time hitting the teddy bear instead of Nest and Paula.
We've got a little bonus hand on screen on Czikubi's side. Your cursor there.
No, it's my favorite curse.
Oh no, the luggage is being stolen.
All right.
Tech Slug starting strong with the red swirl. Paula died first turn.
Yeah, you want, obviously you want it, but at the same time you don't. But very
There
quickly
goes Ness.
Ness goes out, so attacks are getting very good death work there. What's the lowest you can get time-wise with safe strats, you think? Define the safe strats. Because I need to understand exactly what you mean with safe strats. Czikubi getting some ghosts there in the graveyard. And we're fighting one. And it's a red swirl too.
Oh, this is absolutely not what you want to see if you're Czikubi.
No, this fight, thankfully, is... Unfortunately, Paul's going to die here before she even gets to go. But it's not a fight that, as long as Paula doesn't die first turn, it's hard. Because they're super weak to freeze. But it's not something you can run from. They have 30 speed. It'll be about turn 3 to 4 before you even have a chance to run. What's the lowest?
Yeah, but
like full burgers. Level 9 ant is the safest strat you can do on ant, yeah.
The reason I bring it up is because we talked about earlier how Czikubi's almost definitely trying to go for that first seed slot, and he does not want this time loss at this point.
True. They're still on a decent pace. Now, the question is, are they on that pace? It's hard to say. The time they need is a low 105, and that is not easy to get. Even with just like normal RNG, you need sometimes just a lot of good RNG. They had a mid 27 on net, which is a little worse than Czikubi probably wants, but still a very good on net time.
But going into Winters with, let's say, a 52 is what it's looking like, right? Well, what does that mean for what do we need to see in Pond Cave and Brick Road?
Winters needs to be exceptional, basically, for this to be the time Czikubi wants. Winters, from the moment that you get knocked out to the moment you enter the Skyrunner, the fastest I've ever done it is... Actually, let me just look at my gold split. So the fastest I've ever done it, and I'm not the fastest by far or anything like that. So you take it with a grain of salt.
You're the fastest in this room.
I am the fastest in this room. So let's see. The fastest I've ever done it is about 9 minutes and 40 seconds. I've definitely seen 9 minutes and like 30 seconds before. So from like 51:30, they would get to the Skyrunner by about like an hour, or hour or less, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a 103 with full burgers. I also have a 103 without full burgers. My PB is without full burgers. Let me move that. That's from entering the Skyrunner and it starts shaking is when I split. It's still possible for Czikubi, though, basically. Czikubi just needs a very, very strong Winters. They need first Proto to either be skipped or just really, really basic and, 3 turns they kill him. And then a Duck skip. And then Pond Cave to be super good. Czikubi going to be dropping the broken spray can here. Yep.
And what's the idea behind dropping that?
It gets rid of a text box when you sleep in the tent right before Tessie, because normally you repair that into a defense spray. And so dropping it gets rid of that text box.
Makes sense. Got a left bus over on the tax slug side.
Yeah, Slug doesn't want to deal with accidentally getting the photo, which right bus technically you have a chance if you are a little bit too brazen with your movement. But Czikubi, very experienced, knows how tiny the actual photo trigger is. I do recall Czikubi doing right bus.
I don't personally have a favorite bus, but let's let the bot decide what my stance is today.
Down bus, happy bus.
I like to do a down bus. You know, that's just how I roll.
Czikubi got pincered by 2 dogs. Taking a dog fight here, not the greatest, but at the very least they do get this extra level, which might come in handy for Proto 1.
Now, is it true that Jeff cannot smash with his pop gun?
That's correct. It's a projectile-based weapon, so nobody can crit with projectile-based weapons. So that includes slingshots as well, that Ness and Paulo equip. None of Jeff's equipment can crit because he uses only guns or beams, and those are all projectile-based. So the only time Jeff can crit is if he is unarmed.
Now, do yo-yos count as projectiles as well?
I believe you can crit with yo-yos, but I do not remember. They might be the ones that can also not crit, but I don't quite remember. I do know yo-yos are less accurate still. Oh, yo-yos are projectile-based?
Oh, interesting tidbit from Il Yaya in the chat. For what it's worth, he can in GBA.
Yeah, GBA a little wonky. Tech's like having a zombie possessor off screen, but GG spawns it. Thank you for the Tessie emotes, by the way. We do got Tessie on screen.
And it's free for anyone who follows the channel. You can put in the Earth BT.
Absolutely. Airframe dabbing instead.
Wow.
Hunter, no!
You never go right, Tessie. It's an abomination. It's against science.
That's illegal. Get him.
All right, Czikubi going into this pond cave, into this brick road. Let's see about this first proto.
All right, so what we want here is for sizing up the situation.
Got it.
And a call for help with no friends, like exactly like that.
Got it.
And then now it's the third turn, so getting hit isn't a big deal. So this is an ideal first proto situation. You get hit once, it's, you know, about average. You just basically don't want it in a situation where a second proto has shown up to the fight. This duck could be pulled down. Czikubi might try for a little bit, yes. The duck not quite perfectly, but then it moves left, so this is a duck skip for sure.
Wow.
And then we're waiting for Monkey to stop here. And then we're going. And that's a second proto skip as well.
Beautiful.
Very, very nicely executed.
I don't say this often, but I think that was a flawless brick road.
Technically, a flawless brick road would include first proto skip, which there have been runners that have gotten all 3 skips before. It is very, very rare, but it has happened. So that is technically the textbook flawless, but that is about as good as you want it to be in every other scenario. Because the triple skip is that's like a miracle happening.
Yeah, I've never seen the first one skip, so it was flawless to me.
A green swirl here, which we don't know how as a green swirl, but we take it, right?
Jeff logic, I think, is what we say.
Yeah, so the game treats when Ness is not the party leader, it sometimes does end up being a little wonky in how certain swirls are and stuff like that. So when Jeff gets questionable green swirls, and we've technically been able to break Pooh out of Dalam using certain glitches in the game that allow us to play as most of the game as just solo Pooh. And Pooh,
Oh, wow.
And Pooh will very often, like, if you walk into an enemy and like just try and fight it normally, you'll just get red swirled for no reason. Like, it just happens all the time. So
I know we have pajama %. Why don't we have Pooh %?
Pooh %, because so the earliest you could technically do it is it's weird. You play most of the game with just Pooh, and then briefly you get Paula. Ori has done as much of a run as you can do. I do recall. And green is a free run, yeah. If you get a green swirl on almost every enemy, it's a free run. There are certain enemies that are flagged as unrunnable. So Insane Cultists and Happy Happy Village are one of those enemies. So even if you were to get a green swirl on a cultist in Happy Happy Village, you still have to fight it. You cannot run.
Taxlog taking a red swirl from a crow.
Yeah, and doesn't give him an extra level. You get a cookie out of it, but the cookie not exactly the most helpful.
Personally, I would abandon that cookie. It's an insult.
Yeah, I love abandoning the cookie.
You monster. I just said that to bait you.
What? No, that's my favorite. I love abandoning a cookie.
No, that poor cookie.
I love that no one gets that cookie.
No. You beat up a defenseless bird, steal its cookie, and just throw it on the
He's
ground.
wearing sunglasses, all right? He stepped up to me, all right? And I do agree with Hunter here. This can still be a 105, but the 105 that Czikubi wants is extremely unlikely. This would be a high 105 if it is a 105, but almost certainly a 106, which is some pretty insane consistency.
It's going to be close, for sure. Attack Slug also making great time on her own, to be fair.
She is on a great pace, to be clear. She has had no major deaths. She's gotten through everything pretty standardly. So, I mean, it looks like she's still on PB pace, according to the green timer. So she might still be able to grab a PB out of this. And, even if she ends up losing the race, getting a PB is always still very nice.
I really like the thinking Tessie emote. Airframe in chat. Dabbing on Squish Tessie. You're a monster.
Yeah, I cannot believe you, Airframe. No. Alright, Czikubi landing in 3 as Attack Slug starts her first proto. Okay, taking 9 damage there actually could potentially end up still saving her if this Proto does swing 3 times in a row. Unfortunately,
No!
it called for help. You can boiled egg here. And
She's got the cookie.
Well, she's using a boiled egg, which gets her to max. So this ends up potentially saving her. She might want to still consider running. Oh, the call for help fail is pretty good. She could be getting no spawns. Alright, attack slug is through.
Ooh, I was worried about that one.
The cookie
It's
actually
still pretty rough.
It is still pretty rough. She does actually thankfully have the cookie. It's like it can help her against Duck. She'll be able to take 2 hits from Duck as opposed to 1. Although I think she would ideally love to skip it. This is not a Duck skip though. And she's not even attempting for it. She's just trying to get through, and she's hoping this Duck does not go super wild. Meanwhile, Czikubi on Boogey Tent.
And I don't know if you noticed, but he used that skip sandwich there to scoot on down.
Yeah, just to get there a lot faster. Helps especially in that section with a lot of lag. Unfortunately, attacks like going down to the Duck.
Oh, no.
This rockin', if it does hit, should kill Boogey Tent. And that is a GG for Czikubi.
GG. See him in chat. And I'm not sure if Czikubi wants to, but you might want to mention something about post-coms if you feeling so inclined in the race channel.
I think we'll be fine.
Okay.
Ori letting us know that's a Duck. And a 106. 14, 13 on their timer, so I think they split their timer first. So a 106, 13 for Czikubi.
So close to that 105.
Yeah, I mean, they needed a very low 105. 105.09 was their target. So they got a clean enough run in terms of they didn't get any deaths. 106.13 is still an incredible time, but they needed their RNG just to go a little bit better to secure that #1 seed. So that does guarantee that Classic James will have the #1 seed going into brackets, with Czikubi having the 2nd highest seed.
How long do you think that ghost fight took?
That ghost fight, maybe 25 seconds, something like that.
With the red swirl, you think so?
Yeah, you don't lose like an incredible amount of time.
Okay.
You know, maybe closer, maybe like above 30-ish. It's not a full minute, though.
And the points are being paid out, honestly, really close in the betting. 15K to 12K for Attack Slug.
A lot of support for Attack Slug here.
Love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's still potentially on PB pace. Although I think
What's her PB?
I think her PB might be a 112, so it is getting harder and harder. That Duck Death really did put a wrench in that whole plan. I'll expose my... okay, so she's behind her PB right now. And with that Duck Death, she was only plus 30 coming into Winters. And I definitely feel like she could have saved time on this segment, but the Duck Death may have been the thing that, oh no, seeing chicks makes you happy. Jeff, now's not the time.
This is not
the time.
Look, listen. Jeff's in a weird cave with a weird bubble monkey. He just needs a little reminder that things are going to be okay.
Czikubi getting a bike photo. They've loaded a save here. I believe they will be showing off something quite fun if they are able to get it going.
With Jimothy, that is very clever, and I appreciate it.
Attack Slug knowing you can go above that mushroom, but the other mushroom in front of it, unfortunately, is no dice. Alright, we're fighting an unassuming local guy.
We are dying to unassuming local guy.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Hey, dying might take your PP away, but you still get to keep the bike.
Yeah, you do. So Czikubi gonna try again. Unfortunately, they're trying to get enemies to follow them, but not get into the fight. And there's not a lot of space to move around as a bike in this street. So unassuming local guy was just unblockable.
Unassuming local guy was like, "Oh, you're approaching me."
Yeah, exactly. It's humongous. Your bike hitbox is crazy big. Alright, we got one enemy. As Attack Slug finishes Pawn Cave, so she'll be approaching the end on its lab. And starting her way 2-3 to fight Boogey Tent.
Youthful Porpoise in chat says, "I wish there was more chances to ride the bike." Yeah, but then it wouldn't mean as much.
It doesn't mean anything because you can't ride it for very long.
No, I love the ephemeral bike.
Listen,
you just get it for a little chance.
The only good thing the bike can do now is that after the game is over and you are solo Ness again, you can teleport to deep darkness and use the bike in the sludge.
You can also ring the bell.
Yeah, you can ring the bell, but using the bike in deep darkness is actually the best thing ever.
Fair enough. I agree with you on that
point. You can't access storage in Magic Camp. Oh yeah, Tracy is there, but I don't think you can. I don't think you can still use your bike in Magic Camp. They might consider it indoors. But I guess yeah, we never tried it.
I would have to assume that it works sort of like teleport, and you can only use it in places you can teleport.
Right, maybe. You can teleport in deep darkness, so. Bike strats in Magic Camp. Yeah, the problem is that the bike is, your hitbox is so huge that you barely fit on the road in Magic Camp.
Like, yeah, but what a show of dominance if you did.
All right, Czikubi I think has enough enemies following them here. So they're gonna be making their way to Berglund Park. Oh no, they want one more. Well, they got it. Oh, they got two more. Alright, this is definitely enough. Yeah, it does get easier because the game is lagging so much that you have plenty of time to react. Yeah, it's very funny, Hunter. Ness in his PJs riding his bike. The sprite gets all crazy. Oh, you're about to see something very fantastic as Slug is landing into Threed. There's still time to keep an eye on Czikubi's stream, but I do want to pull attention away from it once Slug gets to Boogey Tent.
Absolutely. I'm focused.
But, well, maybe. There's a lot of lag. They're going to Berglund Park right now because Berglund Park has a lot of NPCs. So what you're going to see is one of these enemies is going to turn into something random. It'll be whatever random sprite is most recently loaded. And there's a couple things that it can be. And they're going to get into a fight that will crash the game. Unfortunately, they got red swirled. They can still do it. They just need to run from this fight. The problem is that the iframes are going to give the enemies time to disperse. So watch the enemies here because they will not be aggroed onto you. They're all going to start dispersing. Yep. I think it's still enough to get the glitch though.
And Attack's like also using that skip sandwich.
There's that guy in the back there. Town. That guy in the back, that kid with the mask, that is an enemy. That is not normally an enemy. So you see,
Attack's like starting Boogey Town.
Yep, Boogey Tent here, looking for defend BBR. And 651. And it's down. GG to Attack Slug.
GG.
Game is going to crash very shortly here. Yep. Czikubi's game has crashed. Fun fact, you can actually win that fight. Yeah, Ori, how do you do that? How do you kill Boogey Tent? How much XP do you get for it? It's an insane amount. You like overflow the XP and it like freaks out. Let me see if I can find the video as I put my cursor on screen. But Attack Slug here, going to be finishing shortly here at the time of 1:15. 1:15:55. The race room says 1:16:06 though. Seeing chicks makes you happy. Damn. Damn.
Calculated.
Calculated. Yeah, it's an insane amount. It's something up there, Flint. But congratulations to Czikubi on the win. Also good stuff to Attack Slug. Attack Slug still will be making it 2 brackets, so this is not the end of the tournament for them. But that is the last race of the Swiss rounds, I believe. Yes. So that will do it for us here tonight. Ness, do you have any closing thoughts?
I do not. Thanks everyone for being here and a lot of support. I'm looking forward to the tournament proper, which is going to be kicking off very soon. So stay tuned.
Absolutely. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. I'm going to see if there is anybody worth hosting. But I do not think so. Actually, I don't even think I have the power to host. So
I can if you give me a target.
Yeah, I don't have a target right now. I got no Earthbound content. Selfishly, I could send you to Super Metroid content, but I'll instead just let the stream die. If it's got an auto host thing set up, we'll let that take care of it.
We're rating RPG Limit Break.
Actually, is a much better idea. Thank you. So good night, everybody.
Good night.